Hey, it's Katie. We're going to talk more about that third letter of our Myers-Briggs type, which is a preference for thinking or feeling. Of course, as humans, we all think and we all feel. This is just the terminology that folks have put to our judging function. And it's a way that we prefer to make decisions. So folks with a thinking preference prefer to step out of the situation and create a precedent that can be the same for all future situations. So thinking about impersonal logic as a way to make decisions. Whereas folks with a feeling preference prefer to step into the situation and consider the impact on people first. When we're thinking about feedback as well, folks with thinking preference often might start with considering what didn't go right or what they might improve in the future. Whereas folks with a feeling preference typically want to make sure that we honor the things that did go well and might want to start out with that information. So both functions both preferences are incredibly valuable, and they're important to help us grow professionally, both in the way that we set up our own systems as well as how we can support individuals with thinking or feeling preferences. So let's take thinking first. Again, these folks want to step out of the situation and make a decision based on impersonal logic first. So if we consider the importance of this, we can think about how we can create logical processes that make sense for everybody. So thinking about, for the way that we work, what are some situations that often happen, and how can we create a precedent to follow, or processes to follow? This might look like more efficient systems, providing more clarity, so that things can work more efficiently because people know what to do. For folks with thinking preference will often get frustrated if either there aren't clear processes or aren't clear policies, or when those policies and processes seem to be violated and we don't hold true to those. So it's really great push for us, no matter what our job is, to have those policies and procedures that we can follow. People with feeling preference, on the other hand, prefer to consider that impact on people, which of course is incredibly important. We want to think about policies and procedures. How are they impacting our staff members? How are they impacting our stakeholders and folks that we work with every day? And so one way to support people with a feeling preference is, of course, to give time to consider how our policies and procedures impacting the staff, impacting stakeholders, and to really consider our policies and what might we want to adjust. Where does it make sense to make those adjustments across the board? And where does it make sense to say, here are ways that we might have caveats or adjustments as needed on a case-by-case basis. But again, want to think about the efficiency and how that impacts everyone. Another thing that often helps, that is super easy to implement to support folks with a feeling preference, is to build that connection. So building in time at the beginning of meetings. So let's say 5 minutes at the beginning of a check-in to talk about your own personal life, or to kind of get to know each other a little bit more, can really go a long way with folks with the feeling preference. Those are a couple ways that I use that thinking and feeling preference on the job. And if there are other questions you have, feel free to reach out. Thanks.